Welcome back to the Raventape Drive-in. I'm your host, Mr. Raventape, and this is Deus Ex Human Revolution, just with the twist over it.
Is everything in place?
Almost.
What do you mean, almost?
I have spoken with Montreal. The broadcast satellites are ours when we need them. A few weeks of discomfort, and the public will be primed for our recall.
And the clinics?
We control their birth rate. They will do as we say.
I still think we should wait for the referendum.
We can't afford to wait. America's Science Board convenes next month.
But the mood among the delegates is shifting. I'm positive that given more time...
No. By going public with this discovery, Sarif is forcing our hand.
The world will not change overnight just because David Sarif wills it. Besides, we can do nothing until our biochip is ready.
I thought you said you were close.
Finding the correct nerve interface has proven more challenging than anticipated. Fortunately, thanks to David, I now know where to look.
And in Washington tonight, crowds continue to gather in front of the Capitol. Most are demanding that Congress severely restrict efforts to alter the human body's abilities. This in response to claims made by biotechnology expert David Sarif that his firm may have discovered a way to make human-controlled evolution available to all. Sarif Industries researchers are set to arrive in Washington tomorrow to defend their claim. But for tonight, this is Eliza Kassan reporting to you live.
With all due respect, Major, I'll expect 2 security details waiting for us on the tarmac. No, we won't be going through the terminal. It's too exposed. Yes. I'm glad you understand. Good night, idiot.
Something wrong?
No, not for me, it isn't. But you keep pulling on that necklace, Dr. Reed, and you're gonna break it. Come on, Meg. You've defended your research before.
That was different. Then it was all just theories. But this discovery, Adam, it's big. Kepler big. Rosetta Stone big.
So, what's the problem?
They'll want to know how I found it.
Megan, we're leaving for DC and... Adam, you're there. Good, good.
You need something, boss?
Yeah, I want to go over your security plans for Washington before we leave. You and your team ready to go, Megan?
Almost, David. We're just rechecking data.
Well, make it snappy. We have to actually be in Washington before you can dazzle all those federally appointed know-it-alls.
I hate it when he does that. Come on, I'll walk you part way.
Alright, so I stayed silent there for the cutscene. So what you're seeing right now isn't a mod or anything like that. It's post-editing, me basically messing around with the editing software. I've always loved the old 20s, 30s, 40s films that were black and white. And I always thought that there were some games out there that could lend themselves to it. So this is more of a experiment, so to speak, in seeing
What did you mean back there, man?
how it goes.
About how you found it.
Nothing. It's just my nerves talking.
There's something I should know about this place, about Sarif.
Megan,
Hold on.
we're still getting biochemical fluctuations across the artificial flow cells.
Okay. But
With
the
it being an
increased neural
experiment,
coming from the
it could be
P-dot cluster
possible
could
that
be throwing off your
this would be the
calibration.
only playthrough
I'll double check that.
of a game that I do that
I can't
is
believe
completely
you were
in
asking
this
about David. You've
black
been
and
here long
white
enough to know.
situation.
Eric, you wouldn't be avoiding.
But if it works out well,
Dream of it, Doctor.
well,
I think I know
I've
why
got a
that
couple
was
other games in
wrong.
mind that could really lend themselves to it.
I'm thinking the glial tissue
But it's all about an
breakdown noticed
experiment
after
at the
splicing
moment to
in
see
the repressive protein might be the cause.
what
If
could
we have a
work.
better
So I know there are
cytometer-
parts
You might get a more
just in this
accurate
opening
reason from Missouri.
part of the game that
Well, if he
would
orders
make it
one
very
from Page
difficult in the
Industries,
black and
maybe
white
they'll throw in another
situation.
cappuccino maker.
overthink everything, Adam. The work we're doing is good. We're helping people overcome their physical limitations.
Yeah, except most of our clients seem to be DOD.
You're doing
It's
good.
not all
Just another hour to
military.
go.
We work with teachers, doctors, construction workers.
Damn it! Watch it, Eddie. Those boxes are worth more than your salary.
Sorry.
Nia, you almost ready?
For Washington? Huh.
Ah, Dr. Reed. This is General O'Neill.
Dr. Sevchenko was telling me you've made progress on the Typhoon.
Yes, thanks to Vasily, actually.
As I was saying, sir.
It also gives me an idea
uses a
of
modified
what
combat chassis like the
this
one I'm
experiment would be like
But I've
in a
improved
third
its
person,
design
well, not a third
using
person, but a
shaped microchips
first person
to help
perspective,
skilled
as
workers
most of this game is in first person,
solve
unless you
through
go into
kinetic
cover.
feeders in the Augmented.
It becomes third person,
Mark,
which
Go ahead.
it's an interesting idea, but I've never seen. I've seen it being done again, but it's like it's not an idea that really gets carried out.
Impressive. How soon till it's ready?
I'm afraid I have to run, but Vasily has all the details, General.
Of course.
We still have some work to do.
You're right. The teacher would just love having one of those things.
You're missing the point. Defense contracts keep us afloat, but neural augmentations that make you think faster, react quicker, they can really improve a life. Everybody's lives. David's talked about it for years.
Yeah, he is a talker.
He's a good man. Admit it, Adam. A part of you likes him.
Oh, I like everyone, Dr. Reed.
Yeah, right.
How far are you going?
Diane's office. I forgot to leave her a key so she can walk Kubrick. He's gotten big, you know. Keeps knocking over all my plants.
Did you destroy that vase yet?
I moved it. And I fenced in the yard. Like you always said you were going to.
Yeah, never got around to that. Sorry.
Me too. About a lot of things. Adam, there's something
Good evening.
Pritchard.
So, are we all ready for the trip?
There's Farida. I'd better hurry. See you at the helipad, Adam.
Sure.
Did I interrupt something, Jensen?
You fixed that firewall yet?
You don't fix an entire firewall. You find the loophole and plug it.
Then did you plug it?
Yes, I did. Want to know how? Oh, wait, I forgot. Ex-cop. I doubt you'd understand.
Ex-SWAT, and you'd be surprised. Sarah has to see you too.
Athena. She wants me to show her how to track our scientist-implanted locator devices. In case your security plans in Washington don't measure up.
They will.
Gentlemen, how wonderful to see you both. Go right in, Adam. He's waiting.
This is
I know I'm staying kind of quiet through this opening, but this is introducing us to all the characters that we'll have the most involvement with. From Pritchard to Megan, even David here.
Nobel Prize winner. Senators love this guy, Lyle. The hearings will go much smoother with him there. Big day for us tomorrow. Everything in place?
Yes, sir. Capitol Police will escort us to the Hill, and then Federal Protection Services takes over.
Good, good. How's our girl holding up?
She's nervous.
All she has to do is show him her research. She explain it to you?
Not really into the whole science thing, boss.
It's incredible. All those purists out there accusing us of tampering with the natural order, when all Megan's done is figure out how to unlock the potential that exists within our own DNA. It's safer and easier than anything you, Darrow, ever did.
Environmental malfunction. Laboratory subsection 6. All lab chiefs, please report in.
We better not take any chances. Not tonight. Use my elevator to get down there. You know the code?
Yeah, 0451.
Let me know what you find.
Alright, straight into it.
Someone to shut off the damn racket.
Yes, sir.
So, leave a comment in the comment section. Tell me what you think of it so far.
Pritchard, where's Megan? She report in yet?
Her GPL implant shows her moving through the microchem labs. I think she's running.
Damn. Must have been been a serious equipment failure. Can you get eyes on her?
I'm trying, but the intellicams aren't responding. There's interference coming from somewhere. Find out what's happening, Jetson. Hurry!
Richard? Richard!
Yeah, tell me what you think of it so far. Is it holding up? Should I just stop? I'd love to know, because to me it looks great at the moment. The cutscenes, what we've seen so far, look brilliant, and the movement's not too bad actually. That was the one thing I was really worried about, is that a lot of the aesthetic of the black and white was going to be drained out, like once you start moving and all that, but the yeah, I think you know what I mean with the illusion sort of breaks. To me, you need a game like this, or something more story heavy, where you're probably on more of a corridor track or something like that, like say COD or even Remember Me, which was a game from, I think it was Ubisoft back in the day, where you're really on a linear track, you can't explore much, but fingers crossed this is going to work. Now, as far as the other games that I have in mind, I won't mention them now, but so I want to try this one, and I don't want to be distracted by the possibilities of other things. But they're going to lend themselves nicely to it. They're more cinematic, so to speak. I also was sort of torn, because I could have done all the cutscenes in black and white and stuff like that, and then swapped back to color, but I think that was going to be eventually very jarring for a lot of you out there, to jump from black and white to color again, because not a lot of cutscenes in this are just stop and stare sort of thing, or stuff like that, unless it's a very important cutscene. Most of it is done with looking through Jensen's eyes, at least, anyway. One thing that surprises me playing this again is how I remember the controls so well. I remember getting this for the Xbox 360, and it's one of those games where I just studied from start to finish, because I was just immersed with it. It was one of the first games also too where I finished it and just went straight back into it. I rarely did that, especially when I was younger, and I still rarely do that now. Maybe a little bit more frequently, but yeah, this game was a game that I sat and studied for a while. I usually tend to go with a more stealth build when it comes to characters in this. Stealth build leaning towards more jack of all trades sort of thing. Like, if things turn hot, I want to be able to know that I can still handle myself in a firefight, but if I can keep things quiet, I do that too.
CT probe shows the bullet caused severe hematoma. We need to repair that artery.
My God, how thick was the glass?
I love you.
Haven't you lost enough people today?
I'm sorry.
We're seconds away.
His body can take it.
Miraculous.
I think we got him, Doctor.
Give him the info link.
Fine. Give me the telecom package.
And there you go. Just like that, we have been turned into the one thing. I don't think we hate it. Depends on the way you play it. But, yeah, he's not the Adam Jensen we knew just a few minutes ago, that's for sure. No, I'd kill for a pair of sunnies like that. Think about it, right? You'd never have to take off sunnies ever again or anything.
You in the building?
Just enter the lobby.
You just have these two shades that go in front of your eyes.
So soon, but we've got a situation. A break-in at our Milwaukee Junction factory. Meet me at the helipad.
I have to see Pritchard first. Something's wrong with my retinal enhancement.
Frank's on the second floor in the tech lab. Make it quick. People's lives are at stake.
Another thing I'm going to point out here, as I keep playing this, I'm going to stop every now and then to review documents or emails or newspapers that you come across and stuff like that.
About time. What happened? You get stuck in an air duct on the way over?
Yeah, nice to see you too, Francis. Something's wrong with my retinal display. Can you fix it?
If it's what I think it is, probably. Of course, it might sting. Looks like your left and right imaging processors weren't completely in sync. But don't worry, your Sentinel health implant will kick in soon, repairing any damage that might have caused. Your retinal display should be fine now. Its recognition software won't be picking up hostiles yet, but you should be seeing radar and targeting reticules. Biomedical data too, if you're in pain.
Right. We done here? Because Sarif is waiting for me at the helipad.
I know. Radicals have broken into our manufacturing plant and taken hostages. Maybe this time you'll actually save people.
If you got a problem with me, Pritchard, why don't you just say it and get it over with?
Why no, Jensen? I don't have a problem with you. If anything, I blame myself.
The mighty Pritchard blaming himself. That's gotta be a first.
I'm the one who told Sarif we needed a physical security team to protect us. If he'd read my report closely enough.
Wait a second. Are you saying it was your idea to hire me?
Not you, Jensen. I wanted Dynacore, Sharp Edge, or Bell Tower. All the top private security contractors were on my list, but Sarif wanted somebody in-house. And so did Dr. Reed.
I suggest you leave Megan out of this.
Why, Jensen? It's no secret how close the two of you were. And let's face it, you'd just been fired from SWAT for that massacre in Mexican Town. No one was about to hire you.
You really have to stop getting your news from those Picus blogs, Francis. They only confuse you.
The point is, if Sarif had listened to me, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But Megan, God love her, always did have Sarif's ear.
Sarif's ear is going to be hearing a report about violence in the workplace if you keep this up. You really feel like continuing?
Point taken.
Thank you. Moving on. So what I was going to say was about as far as like newspapers, emails and documents. I know they give you a better in-look. Well, not in-look. That's a nice looking bike, by the way. Expand the universe of Deus Ex. I'm going to try and stop and leave it up for a few seconds so you can pause it, but I'm not going to be reading everything. To do that, we'll be here all day and until next year, that's for sure.
To the helipad.
Almost there.
Good. Because SWAT's about to turn this into a PR nightmare. Meet me in the chopper. I'll brief you.
We're taking the long way around. See, there are good chunks of this game that I generally do remember. Now, another thing should be pointed out, I'm not playing the director's cut, so that's probably one thing that's not coming up right now.
Welcome back, Jensen. Didn't think
Malik.
we'd see you around here for a while yet.
You know how it goes, Malik. Duty calls.
Don't I know it? I was in my wingsuit halfway to the top of the Renaissance Center when I got the 911. But you, 6 months is a hell of a short time to come back from the dead. You sure you're ready for this?
Only one way to find out.
Roger that. The boss is already on board, arguing with the DPD's tactical response team. They've got the plant surrounded, but Mr. Sarif wants you to go in first. You all set here? Because the sooner we take off, the better it will be for everyone.
I'm ready.
Great. Then let's get airborne.
I always liked Malik. I know I've been generally quiet so far through this episode, and that's because a lot of the information we need, story-wise anyway, are in this opening parts. I know once the game eventually opens up a bit more, I'll start talking about the game a bit more and my experience with it and
I told Farida to put us down on a roof. I don't want the crowd seeing you go in.
Fine. As long as she pulls you out the minute I'm gone. So what am I looking at here? Who are these guys?
Pro-human purists, or so they say. The same purists who've been firebombing limb clinics all over the country.
You buy that?
Nah, I don't think it's a coincidence they hit us today, only hours after we moved the Typhoon in for assembly line factory.
The Typhoon? Megan's team was testing it the day that bastard... Who's on point for these guys?
Adam, I know you and Megan were once...
Who is on point for these guys?
Goes by the name of Sanders. That's him, there. He's an Augmented, Adam. So he can't be one of the mercs who attacked us, but he did know exactly how to get inside our plant.
All right. So how do you want me to handle this?
First priority is the Typhoon. I'm keeping SWAT out until you've secured it. As far as rules of engagement go, I'll defer to you. Lethal or non-lethal?
I'm not looking to start a firefight in there, just neutralize them.
Okay, but just make sure those bastards don't wake up and warn their friends. You remember what it's like in there? A lot of tight enclosed hallways, but the labs themselves are pretty open, high ceilings. So, do you want something you can use from a distance, or up close?
Give me something with distance. If I get too close, I'll take them out personally.
Just try not to break anything expensive.
no promises.
The Typhoon should be in the factoring labs, but Pritchard will tell you more as you go in. I've got him running comms.
Terrific. Anything else?
Keep your eyes open for hostages. Free them if you can, but the Typhoon is your #1 priority. We developed it for the Alphabet agencies. And if we don't deliver it to them intact and still a secret, well, I'm sure you'll get the job done right.
Gentlemen, prepare for landing.
Yep, this was one of those rare games from back in the day when I actually pre-ordered it. I don't pre-order much these days. Usually the bonuses aren't really worth getting. And a lot of it's gone digital anyway, so eventually you would be able to buy it off the store. One thing that's interesting on that flight in is the decision to go lethal or non-lethal. I think that, if memory serves me right, that is the only time you're ever asked that question. Because from here on out, it's basically how you tackle a mission is entirely up to you.
Jensen, it's me, Pritchard. Where are you?
On a roof overlooking the plant.
Good. Your point of entry should be through shipping and receiving.
Should be, Francis. What the hell does that mean?
We have an employee entrance there, heavily guarded by purists, no doubt. So, if you're not a fan of the frontal assault, I suppose you could try accessing the building's roof.
See, now that's where you are given another straight up option, is that you can go through the guards layout in this area that we are now, or take a shortcut, so to speak, up through to a vent, which becomes a running joke, with Pritchard in the beginning asking if we had got stuck in the air duct somewhere. Of course, the safest way to it in avoiding the majority of, I guess, enemy, you would call them, is to go through the roof. Now, as things go along now too, like I said, my build is sort of like a jack of all trades, leaning towards more of the stealth. I do that because even though it gives you the option to go loud or quiet, you actually don't get as much experience points if you go loud. If you keep going, if you kept quiet, you get more experience points as you move along.
I'll be sure to take notes. The Typhoon is in the factoring labs. There's an elevator just past the assembly labs that will take you to it.
Got it.
So in a strange turn of events, it seems like if you go quiet more often, it is the good path, so to speak. Especially when you get towards the ending. If you've seen the game, if you know what happens towards the end of this game, you know what I'm talking about. I won't mention it here, because it has a nice twist attached to it. The writing in this, I felt, was very good. It's a bit, yeah, okay in some spots, but for the majority of this game, it's actually written really well. Unfortunately, you've then got Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Now, I'm more interested in the production of that. I'd love to know why it ended the way it did, because when you play the DLC doesn't even do anything. Well, it expands on some of the story, but not the parts of the story that you want, if that makes sense.
He shouldn't be wandering off like that. Zeke wants us all on full alert.
What for? The popos ain't coming in here. Not while he's holding all the cards.
No shit. You see Zeke when that Hansel ever sneaked us? Never seen no one twitch that fast. He's gonna get us out of this.
Not if those popos catch us blazing. So split up.
Gonna move back. So what the group we are facing right now is the Purity First group. These are the people who believe that the minute you do any sort of augmentation to your body, you are deemed not pure anymore. It's entirely up to you how you view them, because you are introduced to people who are a part of this group that sort of show a more understanding and human side to this group. They're not all faceless people following orders. But with that said, there are other groups that are strictly all for augmentation. I think the group that comes to mind is the harvesters. I think it's the harvesters. They make a habit out of harvesting people really for their augmentations and selling them on the black market. That's I guess it's like apples and pears really, but it's not all good on the other side of it, and that's what I like about this game. It does raise some interesting ethical questions about augmentation, as there'll be parts in this game where Jensen will be challenged on his view of augmentations. Yeah, I didn't need the combat ammunition. Another thing that a lot of Deus Ex players know is to investigate everything. Lockers, drawers, desks, anything you can get your hands on. Investigate that shit, because it might be hiding something. You might get lucky like I did with the credit chip. Did that bin just push me out of the way? Whatever. Yeah, I need one of those. But on the flip side, you may get something, well, let's call it useless, which is like a newspaper or, I don't know, a magazine or something. Something that you don't really need. Like, I would take that revolver ammunition and well, it's not a machine gun, but it's known as a combat rifle ammunition if I had those weapons on me. To me, it's very much a situation of weighing up your options, because at the moment we have limited space, and due to the fact that I am playing with the pre-order stuff, that's already been piled into my
override codes aren't working. Someone's changed the protocols.
What?
It's already filled up a good chunk of my space.
But until I find this particular breach and fix it, you'll have to hack the door manually. Richard out.
So this is how they do hacking. It's pretty simple at the moment. It can get very difficult, especially when they ask you to start, well, not ask, but start pointing out you can start collecting things. Like, you can get viruses and extra information from computers if you target certain things, but you always have to make it to that orb at the end. Well, not the orb at the end, but no, it looks like an orb, which is the connection point. You have to always make it within whatever the allotted time space is. Also, investigating vents or air ducts and seeing where they lead can actually give you experience points like it just did then, because you're exploring the map. You're not taking the A to B straight down the middle. Like, I could go through here, continue onwards and not care about it, but exploring around the place leads you to new spots and new interactions with people and stuff like that.
Do not use the door.
Where are the police? Do something! bomb squad!
Access granted. Located dispersal device.
You can relax now.
Countdown terminated. Have a nice day.
Pritchard, get word to Seraph. I found the hostages.
I'm relaying good news, I hope.
They're safe, and they're staying put. SWAT will have to exfil them as soon as I've got the prototype.
I'll tell Sarif, but don't take too long.
Listen up. I need you all to stay calm, keep your voices down, and wait here for SWAT. The plant's not clear yet.
Not clear, but those terrorists, they've got my wife.
Your wife?
She's the manager here. Josie Thorpe. They said they needed her to open the administration building. They were looking for evidence of some kind. Please, I haven't seen her since. You have to find her.
I'll do my best. But right now, I need you all to stay here and wait for the police. Can you do that?
Yes, of course. But please, hurry.
You said they were looking for evidence? What kind of evidence?
I don't know. They're purists. They think the body is sacred and shouldn't be tampered with. They probably want something that will implicate us in moral wrongdoings.
Did they know about the typhoon?
It's a top secret contract. How could they? And we only moved it in a few hours ago. Please, I don't think they expected anyone would be working today. And now that they're backed into a corner, you have to find my wife, please.
So yeah, right there it shows a big red flag. For the simple reason is that we got introduced to the typhoon at the beginning. It was shown to that military, was it Lieutenant Colonel? So this was a secret project. They should have not known about this whatsoever. So it's one of those things where as the game unravels, you learn. I'm not going to say this part of the game is the linchpin. Oh, come on. Oh well, spotted anyway. Yeah, I'm not going to say this mission is the linchpin, but it definitely does set off the investigation that travels down the line. One thing I would like when shooting the tranquilizer rifle is a crosshair on it. I think the other weapons get crosshairs when you pop out like that. So I'd love if there was a crosshair for that, because it makes it very difficult you don't know if you're going to hit them or not. Now comes the fun part, where you literally raid everybody for their ammunition and money. It's not like they're going to need it anyway. Now the reason I brought up the director's cut for this is that there was a lot more of balancing issues that were sorted and bugs that were sorted out. This is the original release version of the game. So to a lot of players out there who have played the original and the director's cut would know the differences, except for the ones I just pointed out, would know what happens in a lot of boss fights. Especially there's one boss fight towards in the end that, if done right, is virtually broken. Those cameras have got some sort of sight on them, that's for sure. Very imaginative, boys. Now the hardest challenge in this, when it comes to stealth anyway, is to how to ghost an entire level. People out there can do it, I probably wouldn't be able to do it, even though I lean towards the stealth build. There is no way in hell I would ever do a... Oh, I might get lucky, but to do a proper ghost run in any level, that means not being seen once, or even heard, for that matter. And usually there are augmentations that you can unlock later on that does help immensely with that if you really want to do that.
What's he looking for? Proof that these fuckers are lying to
But
us
it
like
does
that. Just like Zeke said.
rely heavily on you to be very aware of where everyone is.
You like that?
So I guess that one of the benefits of doing it in the black and white like I am right now is that in the director's cut that was taken out during the original release of this game was a yellow tinge. Everything had a very, very yellow and tinge to it to give it that more futuristic look to it. And yes, it works in some parts, and in other parts it can be very distracting because of glare or something like that. So I guess that's a benefit of what I'm doing right here, is sort of taking that away and maybe hoping it would be working in my favor to do this black and white thing. They chose when it came to the lighting up the game and areas in this game, they chose a very yellow and dark color scheme. Like I said, give it that futuristic look, but it can be very distracting at times. See, that's one of the benefits of investigating areas, being able to move around certain things.
Step away from the console. Now!
Help me!
Son of a bitch!
So it looks like they weren't all pure.
Pritchard, you still there?
Where else would I be?
Patch me to Seraph, now.
Adam, it's David. You got the Typhoon?
Yeah, but you were right about there being something more behind this. Because I've also got a dead purist in here with some pretty interesting cerebral implants.
Don't touch him. We'll need an expert to recover his neural hub, in case it's booby-trapped.
Copy that. What about Sanders?
SWAT's pressuring me to let them off the leash. Find them before they do, and deal with them.
Alright, heading towards the end now. So, as you can see, there is definitely somebody pulling the strings here. I don't, if I even remember correctly, I don't even think you learn who is pulling the strings in this game. I think you get a general idea of who. Yeah, they're definitely squaring off with the police outside, that's for sure. Also, with the Typhoon, that I find very interesting is that it can be one of your upgrades. You can actually unlock the Typhoon in your body and use it as a weapon. It looks like a very superhero sort of stance with it. It's probably something I won't unlock. The one thing I like using was the Icarus flight system. I think that's what it's called. Where it helps you get down from high elevated areas, like jumping down from a fire escape or something like that, which works in one or two ways. If you don't have the strength in your legs, I know that there's an upgrade where you can strengthen up your legs and all that to take certain jumps and fall from certain heights, but the Icarus flight system actually helps you be able to get basically off the top of a building down. It's very helpful if you need to make a quick escape. The Typhoon definitely weighs more in the realm of if you go loud, a lot more. It's not a bad card to have up your sleeve if shit hits the fan, but it's not usually something I would get. Come on, buddy, move along.
Shit. I don't even know what any of this stuff means.
As you've probably experienced already in this game, is that it does have a lot of dialogue options. And if you don't pick the right ones, there are consequences for it.
Don't lie to me! I don't want to hurt you. You're a civilian. But I will if you don't give me a choice.
If you didn't want to hurt anyone, you should have stayed home tonight.
Oh, look! Seraph's attack dog! You're here to clean up before the police bust in? He thinks we're breaking the law. Shut up! All you body polluters break laws. You're all the same.
You're gonna have a hard time convincing people you're any different once they hear you had an AUG on your team.
What?
I found your attack dog in the factoring labs, trying to cut through security with his implanted hackware.
Nice try, Cholo. But I would never let one of you freaks on my crew. Back off, Hunter. I got business to take care of, understand? If what you say is true, and I'm not saying it is here, but I gotta check things out. So me and la vieja, we're leaving.
You know I can't let you go with her.
Stand down, Hanser. I told you, stand down or this bitch is dead.
Bullshit. You're bigger than that. You don't kill civilians.
Damn right. I'm a decorated vet, and I won't be jerked around. I need to find out who's behind this, and right now the boss lady's my only ticket out of here.
Listen to me. Whatever's going on, it's big. You've got a better chance of getting to the bottom of it if you work with me, but I can't do a thing until you let her go.
Are you stupid? I don't work with AUGs. God, you must think I'm some kind of moron. And who can blame you? Because it's exactly what it must look like to everyone right now. Trapped in here by the cops, and my only option is to take a hostage. How screwed up is that?
You're doing better than you think. You're still standing, and that's more than the hacker was expecting. You said you're a vet, so I know you've got the balls to handle this. You don't need the civilian to get you out of here.
You got a good point there, but still. There's no way I could put my trust in you. You're on the same side as the cops. They got me completely surrounded and there's nothing I can do. I'm all alone in here.
The only thing the cops are focused on right now is the safety of the civilians. Same as you. You've risked your life to do what's best for other people. You're not some drive-by banger.
You're right. I'm not. The cause is blowing up all around me. My brother's at risk. All because of what that traitor did to us tonight. I've got to fix it, but I can't when I'm stuck in here with you.
You've got more honor than the man who betrayed you. You're not gonna let your brother down like this. The hacker was expecting civilians to be in the building tonight. You were supposed to take hostages and force the cops to silence you permanently. But you're smarter than he is.
It's so obvious. I can't believe I didn't see it till now. He thinks he can just lead me to my death? Think again, cabrón. Get out of here. I did what you wanted, so let me go. I got Blade here too, I say.
I've got as much interest in finding out who's really behind this as you do, cabron.
Yeah, well, maybe I'll owe you one. But I promise you this, someone's gonna pay.
See, a bit of empathy goes a long way these days.
Sanders is gone, boss. But I'm pretty sure he's just a dupe. Somebody else set this up.
Damn it. Okay, I want you back here now. The admin building has a rooftop terrace. Meet Farida on it.
Copy. Jensen out.
Gotta check on everyone now. Make sure everyone's okay.
Are you alright?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Just a little shaken up, but what about the other hostages? My husband was with them in one of the assembly labs, and I overheard talk about a bomb.
Don't worry, they're safe.
Oh, thank God. When those men surprised us. Mr. Jensen, they should not have been able to get in. With the typhoon being moved in and all, I double-checked the protocols myself.
Yeah, I expect Pritchard's doing the same thing right now. Stay here. DPD will want to question you. But you and your husband should be reunited soon.
Thank you, Mr. Jensen. You're a hero.
See, when I try to make my decisions in this game, I try to weigh up the more better option
But my
than
wife, she's still in there. I need to know that she's okay.
You'll have to wait until the building is secure. Now back up and let the SWAT team do their job, please.
My wife, is she all right?
She's fine. A little shaken up, though. Swab will
I mean,
need
look
to
at him
debrief
trying
her.
to swat a fly
We'll see
away.
her soon.
I don't know
I
what
know
to
that.
say.
I know that feeling
I
all
think
too
I've
well.
given up on her. You're a true hero, man. I'll find some way to repay this, I swear.
There's no need for that. I was just doing my job.
Don't be modest. I didn't recognize you before, but I know who you are, Mr. Jensen. And I know you weren't supposed to be back at work yet. Thank God you are. I'll be in touch. Count on it.
You made a lot of people happy tonight, Jensen. And not just the men in suits.
It's what they pay me for.
No. They pay you to put corporate interests ahead of people. You found a way to satisfy everyone. Guess Dr. Reed was telling the truth about you.
Megan? What are you talking about, Malik?
Before you were hired, she said the papers were lying about Mexican Town. That you weren't fired from the force. You quit when you realized Protect and Serve had become Protect and Serve the corporate interest. Nice to see she was right. You ready to go?
Yeah, get me out of here, Malik.
Your wish is my command. Climb in.
So when I do the main missions in this game, if there are any secondary things I have to do, I try and do them first before finishing the actual mission itself, because it does allow certain things to be opened up more. Like if I didn't switch that bomb off and talk to that guy in the room, let alone I think bumping into the hacker helps regardless. I think that's just along the way. Another way that happens, that last scene ends, is that he takes Josie with him as a hostage, and you hear nothing of him again.
New orders just in, Jensen. The boss wants Pritchard to examine the Typhoon ASAP.
Copy that. Thanks for the lift.
No problem. Hey, and Jensen, I just wanted to say, new look suits you. Like, you haven't missed a beat at all.
Thanks.
So, how's it feel, being augmented?
Excuse me?
Don't take it the wrong way. I mean, I've got a few neuro enhancements myself. Discreet ones to help me fly better. But I chose to get them implanted. You didn't. Now that you had a chance to try them out, what do you think?
You're right. I didn't choose to get augmented. And I still don't know if I would have if given the choice. But today felt good. Surprisingly good.
Dr. Reed said you'd take to them. Said it was in your genes. Just be careful, okay? A lot of people think there's a reason the human body rejects this technology over time.
I didn't peg you for the type who gets caught up in metaphysical debates, Malik.
I'm not. I told you myself, I've got neuro enhancements. I'm just saying the choices we do get to make inevitably have consequences.
Yeah. Tell that to the bastard who did this to me.
I hear you. And you know what? You're not the only person in this place who wants to find him. So if I can help in any way, all you gotta do is ask.
Actually, there is something. I want to know about the first attack.
Fine. Ask away.
Did anyone else see them? The men who attacked?
Not well enough to get a description. Pritchard got some fuzzy images off one of the Intellicams, but his tapes were all confiscated by Homeland Security.
Homeland? I heard Homicide passed it over to Special Investigations. Detroit Special Investigations.
They did, for the first month. After that, all I really know is the case is still pending, and Mr. Seraph is not pleased.
You were there that night. What do you remember about it?
That it was chaos. First, everybody figured there'd been some kind of accident, but Pritchard couldn't get a good visual and communications were haywire. Then we heard the explosions. By the time anyone knew what had hit us...
They were gone.
Whoever they were good, Jensen. Special training good.
I've been thinking about why they attacked. What they were really after.
Isn't it obvious? They didn't want us going to Washington.
No, that was just timing. Hearings can be rescheduled. Somebody else can present Megan's findings.
I don't think so, Jensen. They took out her whole team. Declan Faraday, Vasily Savchenko, Nia Colvin, even Eric Koss. The labs their bodies were found in.
Were burned to a crisp. I know.
The only reason you weren't caught in the fire was because that retaining wall came down. Saved your life, believe it or not.
So the whole attack was just to destroy Megan's research.
Sure looks that way. Mr. Seraph is hoping to reconstruct it, but it may take months. If he can keep us solvent that long.
I've been thinking about why they attacked.
I'd already seen this one.
What they were really
I just went
after.
blank for a minute there. I was like,
no, that was...
I'm sure I heard that one before.
So the whole...
Sure looks...
I'm gonna find them.
I believe you. And just so you know, when you do, I've got your back.
I appreciate that, Malik, but right now...
You've got to get the Typhoon into the tech lab, right. See you later then. Oh, and Jensen, the boss wants a face-to-face debrief in his office once it's secure.
Roger that. Good night, Malik.
That was their first steps into the investigation of what happened that night. I would say what happened that night 6 months ago in the game is more of a linchpin than what happened tonight. There is definitely a target painted on the back of the company we work for.
People seem to think we're hiding something.
Only because Eliza Kazan keeps spinning it down. I don't buy for a second he was...
There's somebody like with that hacker in the background pulling the strings a lot more.
Well, if it isn't Mahatma Gandhi himself, come to honor us all with his life-preserving presence. If this is about the Typhoon, I'll get to it in a minute.
Now, Pritchard. I didn't risk my neck to have you lose it in a pile of CPUs and scuzzy adapters.
Well, look at you, using the big words. Don't think just because you hacked through the plant security system so fast that you're an expert on everything computer. There's a reason I can't examine the Typhoon yet.
Do tell.
For your information, I am running a diagnostic sweep on our network and router security to find out how Sanders' hacker got a hold of our codes.
I'd have thought the first question to ask is, whose codes were they? Unless you already know.
Stick to kicking down doors and shooting people, Jensen, and stop trying to do my job. I guarantee you we'll get along better that way.
As missions open up, you'll get secondary ones too, including the normal main missions. One thing I'll be focusing on during my playthrough of this is a lot of the secondary stuff. Like I said, it does open a lot more when it comes to main story missions. You know, it's like sort of staying a step ahead of the information, because that's exactly what this is an information war.
He might not have put the gun in Sanders' hand, but it was Taggart's speech to the UN that started all this.
William Taggart is nothing if not a shrewd political operator. You know that, David.
So for the sake of appearances, I have to look him in the eye and let him bullshit me?
With a smile. Always with a smile. We'll talk later.
Yeah, you wanted to see me?
Yeah, how you feeling?
I've had better days.
Well, when we're done here, check him at Dr. Markovic at the limb clinic downtown. Can't hurt to get a checkup.
If you insist. Listen, about Sanders?
Yeah, about Sanders. What the hell were you thinking? Letting him slip away like that? I sent you in there to take care of things.
Yeah, we're gonna gamble this one, I think. Sounds like the best option.
I'm hoping it'll pay off for us later. Sanders was furious when he found out his hacker was augmented. He's not gonna rest till he finds out who set him up.
Oh, and you're naive enough to think he'll share the information when he gets it. I thought you were ready for this, Adam.
I am. Today's attack was just a shell game being run by somebody else. I intend to find out who and why, so that it never happens to anybody again.
Good, 'cause so do I. That hacker in Sanders' group, you're sure he was augmented?
I pulled his cables out myself.
Yeah, well, the police are saying he's not, and they're refusing to let me see the body, no matter how much money I threaten to pull from their retirement fund.
I think I'll go Placid. Yeah, that seems like a better option too.
Maybe someone else is offering more. So what do you want me to do, boss?
We have to get a look at the corpse. You still got friends on the force. You think one of them will let you into the morgue?
Depends who I run into.
Get over to the station and find a way inside. Because if that hacker was augmented, his neural hub might tell us who he was. Contact me when you've gotten a hold of it.
Alright.
You got it.
So one of the things that I'm going to unlock is the social enhancer. It allows you to get a better read on people in those situations where you have to pick multiple decisions. Well, not decisions, but options. If you've got multiple options on which way you want to take the conversation, you can sort of do that with the social enhancer. You can sort of see where that personality is and stuff like that. So it allows you to get an edge over people too. Stabilizer, yeah. Let's boost. It's like sort of me right now is going through these. It's sort of like it's sort of like me making a shopping list. Like, okay, I'm going to need this, this, and this if I'm going to go with a build that I'm usually comfortable with. Like, you won't see me do anything crazy or anything like that with it. See, as you can see, now we've got a couple missions to do. And they appear there. You can select them, you can turn them off, turn them on, and as more build up, I'll probably will start doing that more often than not.
Adam Jensen? They spin the news like anyone else.
Hey, Jensen, glad to see ya. Damn it, now I sound like his girlfriend or something. Hey, Jensen. Man, it's
Still not
good
any
to see
better.
ya. I'm glad you're back. How are you holding up?
I manage.
I'm sorry about Megan. I know it must be hard. For a while, we thought you were a goner, too. Everything's going to shit. The attack on HQ, and now this mess with the factory.
Yeah, tough times all around. How about you, Corella? You okay?
I don't know. I fucked up. I mean bad.
What happened?
Well, a couple of months ago, me and Tyndall, you know, one of Pritchard's techs, we started sneaking out some neuropozyne from one of the labs.
Jesus, Tim. You realize this could get you fired. Worse, arrested if the company chooses to prosecute. What were you thinking?
I know. It's complicated. I didn't want to do it at first, but there were good reasons. Anyway, now I want out, but Tyndall has security footage of me stealing the stuff and says he'll expose me if I ever stop helping him. I'm in a bad spot, Adam. I need that footage back. I know you're busy with everything that's going on right now, but I could really use your help.
Let's find out a bit more about it.
Pretty ballsy stealing a patented drug from a secure lab. How'd you manage to do it?
Both Tyndall and I worked the night shift every other week. I stashed the neuropozyne in a bag while he edited the security footage. Guess he kept part of it.
Neuropozyne? What could you guys want with an anti-rejection drug for augmentation patients? Reselling it? Providing a competitor?
Why do you automatically assume I was trying to turn a
Because
profit?
that's how the world works.
How about Tyndall? Can't you reason with him?
You could try, but Tyndall's a pretty driven guy. I mean, the guy's like a rock. You'd need a Casey aug or something to crack him.
I got it covered. What is it exactly you need me to do?
I need you to get back that security footage Tyndall has on me. It's probably in his apartment. On his computer, maybe.
So what? I just look him up in the phone book?
His apartment is near Brooklyn Court. It might be tough to get in because his building has a large security gate protecting it.
Well, that's just great.
Hacking the security gate is possible, but would require advanced hacking skills. You might have to look around for an alternate path. Maybe use the fire escape or something.
And I should care about this because...
Damn, Adam. Are you really going to shake me down like this? That's cold. I'm hurting here. Look, I may be able to get my hands on a weapon mod for you. Jeez, never thought I'd have to buy
Well, I
you.
wasn't going to do it for free. I've got other things on my plate at the moment.
Alright, tell me more.
Really? Wow, thanks, Adam. I thought I was done for. The security footage will probably be on his apartment computer. Meet me in front of the subway station parking lot once you get a hold of it.
I got it from here.
So when you do advanced hacking skills, that's when they come in handy with security cameras, turrets, stuff like that. It allows you to take control of them, essentially. And now I'm about to hack my own computer. Mandrake. That's the password for my computer, eh? Okay. One thing I'm curious of is that on the PC side, can you actually type this out on your keyboard, or are you forced to select two? And with that, we've reached the end of the first playthrough. I hope you enjoyed it as I have enjoyed it. And until next time, good night.